Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today we have the follow-up on the video that I made, I think it was last week. But anyway, I discussed about how the new titanium handle scales are coming out for RGT and being offered at DLT trading. And today you're going to see that knife. It's this one right here. It's all put together. These three right here are all RGT, Ripp's Garage Tech scales and back spacers, and none of these have the clips on them because I carry these freely in my motorcycle jacket pocket. That's why I like these best for, because they have the thicker grips and they feel really good without the pocket clip on them. I don't know, you just have to experience it if you get a chance to. And also, I think these are a great value for people who want to modify their AD20.5s. And the reason why I say that is that, for instance, I think these are like $65 for the scales and the back spacers. They come, all three pieces come together. You don't buy them separately. And it's like $65 for all three pieces. And that's like the least expensive, the most inexpensive way to modify the scales on your AD20.5. This one right here is the Python pattern, and it's a canvas micarta. You can see how thick they are compared to, like, let me find a stock one real quick. Let's get the original one. The original one I have. This is the first one I ever bought. Y'all remember the orange one if you've been following me. But you can sort of compare the scales. This is a lot thicker. I'm going to leave this one out, even though we're not really talking about the stock ones. This one's totally stock. We're talking about modified ones today. This is the Ripp's Garage Tech also, and this is the one with linen micarta. Linen micarta. I can't remember if they had a special name for the red or whatever. We'll just call it red linen micarta. And these feel so good in my hand. I just love the way these knives fit my hand. This is my favorite 3-inch blade folder of all time. I've never liked a 3-inch bladed folder more than I like these. And I've had lots of 3-inch bladed folders. The second place one would be my Kiku, Sawed Kiku. I love that one too. Whether you get the carbon fiber version or the steel version. I prefer the steel version over the carbon fiber, but the carbon fiber is like, that would be my third favorite 3-inch folder. Absolutely love these. Because sometimes I like knives that have a little bit of weight to them. I don't know. You know, for a self-defense folder, if you're going to use it for self-defense, I like them to have a little bit of weight for them, a little bit of weight to them, because it adds weight to your punch or to your hand when you impact something. If you're not using the blade, let's say. It helps with the impact potential. Whereas a light knife doesn't add any, weight to your fist. Is that a good way to put it? I know a lot of people don't want to hear stuff like that, but anyway. That's me. I'm a self-defense guy. This one right here, this is the new one. The one I told you I was going to get, the Darkwash Titanium. Comes with the Darkwash Titanium backspacer and everything for $159 at DLT Trading. And this didn't cost me $159 because I had rewards points built up with DLT Trading. So it was $31 less than that. I had $31 worth of reward points that I used on this. Same thing for my RGT, for my original GOAT one. I didn't pay the original price for that because I got to get the early pre-order price because I was already an original GOAT customer, and they sent out special discounts to their customers before those were even made yet. And so I paid like $129 for these. This one was $100, I can't remember exactly. It was $159 minus $31. Absolutely love it. But we have a little discussion about it though. We're gonna have a little discussion. And the reason why I have these out here, because I sort of want to compare them to the ones that are RGT offers. So I just have these basically out as a comparison. These are the RGT ones, the ones that we're really doing the video about. The video is really about this one right here. This is the new one to the bunch. All these others I've already had and made videos about them already. This is the RGT original goat scales. And the difference between the RGT scales and the original goat, other than the girth of the handle and the weight and all that, is that the RGT one doesn't have exposed pins. And that's the way these come stock. They come stock with exposed pins. Like this. So the original goat ones are more like the original scales, whereas the RGT ones are different. But they're different in a good way though. Especially if you're a person that likes having a little bit more girth to your handle. These two right here are aluminum. These are aluminum versions. I'm still trying to get a black pocket clip. I want a black pocket clip for this one, so it'd be all the way blacked out. Lynch Northwest, I've been putting in for black pocket clips. I haven't gotten one yet, so still waiting on that. But this will eventually have a black pocket clip. These are aluminum, and they're ceramic coated, black. Absolutely love it. And these have the V groove backspacer, which if you're getting the original goat, you need to get the V groove or the ball backspacer. Otherwise, it won't work with your shark's foot blade. Your shark's foot blade will hit the backspacer if you don't get one of those kind of backspacers. I found that out with this one. Did a video on it. Hi, sweetie. What you doing? Huh? What you doing? You always just want to play. This little girl loves to play. And she loves to give hugs and kisses all the time. Okay, you gonna let me do the video? You gonna let me do the video, sweetie? Y'all know Juno, right? There's Juno. There's Juno. Okay, sweetie, why don't we go ahead and get down? Okay. This one right here is aluminum, also ceramic coated. And this one has the ball groove, I believe, and this one's a V groove. The grooves are a little bit different. But that's the way it is on the inside of the knife too. So you see I have the shark's foot blades on these because the shark's foot blade doesn't hit on these. You can look at the inside. I'm trying to show you the inside. You can see that the shark's foot blade doesn't hit anywhere. And you can look at the blades. So with these, that's the way to go. If you want to go with the shark's foot, with the original goat, I would say get the ones with either the V groove or the ball groove. Don't get the backspacer like this one or the plain one. Because if you look on the inside, there's no groove in there, and these aftermarket backspacers and scales are thicker than the original ones. They have a little bit more girth to them. Now you can get ones like this, but then you're gonna have to machine down, like maybe with a Dremel tool, when it's all apart, and machine down the part where the hump is a little bit, in order to make the shark's foot blade not hit it. That'd be my advice for those. But I absolutely love these. Let's weigh them out and see how much they weigh. What are we going to start with? Let's start with these. Well, actually, let's start with a stock one and see what a stock one weighs, huh? What I mean by stock, this is totally stock. Factory bearing sets in them and everything else. All of these have skiff bearings, and they have custom scales and backspacers. Same with these. These have all skiff bearings, custom scales, and backspacers, plus the custom Lynch titanium pocket clips. All right, this is totally stock one. just the way you would receive it from the factory. .3 ounces. 3.6 ounces. Remember that number. 3.6 ounces. Okay, the next lightest one will probably be one of these, one of the aluminum ones. 4.0 ounces. 4.0. 4.0 ounces. This one's 3.8. It's a little bit lighter for some reason. Weigh this one again. Oh, now it's saying 3.9. Because these should be about the same weight. This one has the nuts pattern. And this one has a shark's tooth pattern. They could weigh a little bit differently because of, you know, the milling in them. Maybe it takes out a different amount of weight or something. The titanium version from the original goat. 4.9 ounces. 4.9 ounces. Now, the python pattern, canvas micarta from RGT, 3.7 ounces. 3.7 ounces. Linden micarta from RGT, 3.6. 3.6. So that weighs just as much as the stock one, same amount as the stock one. Shows you how much lighter micarta is over a metal scale. These are both aluminum. This one's titanium. Now this is the new RGT one. All titanium. Titanium scales, titanium backspacer. These feel so good in your hand. This one feels like a kiku now though. It feels like it's about the same weight as a kiku. All right, let's weigh this one out. 5.5 ounces. 5.5 ounces. Let's weigh it again, just to make sure. Now it says 5.4. Let's do it one more time. 5.4. 5.4 ounces. I'm going to go with 5.4. I'm going to go with the 5.4. I think a kiku weighs 5.6 or 5.9 or something like that. I want to say 5.6. Absolutely love these. Awesome blades. Awesome handles. Awesome scales. These are, if you're on the budget, they're a little bit less expensive than the original goats. These were $159 for a set, and it comes with the backspacer and everything. When you get the original goat one, you can buy them in a set, I think, for like $190. And I can't tell you which one I like better than the other. Because to be honest, they're both very close in color and everything. The only difference is the girth. I got this scale out here so we can measure out the girth and I can show you the difference. Girth and weight. But sometimes, you know, having something bigger or heavier is cool. You know, it's nicer. These are 11.99 or 12. These are 12 millimeters thick on the spine. 12 millimeters thick. Let me show it to you guys. Yep, right at about 12. This one, the original goat one, titanium set, is 10.3 millimeters. So you can see the big difference there, huh? Quite a bit of difference. These the same size as the titaniums. 12 millimeters thick. That one's almost 12. It's a little bit under, like 11.8 or something. These 9.92, about 10 millimeters thick. Ten millimeters thick. $10.25. So that's the difference. That's the big difference in these. If you don't want the thicker, if you don't like the thicker handle scales, I would say get the original goat ones. One other thing about original goat too is that they offer more patterns. They offer, you know, like all these different patterns and stuff, but they don't make things out of micarta. See, with RGT, you can get micarta, you can get carbon fiber, you can get micarta, carbon fiber, and all different kinds of micarta too, from linen micarta to canvas micarta to burlap. And they even got what do you call it? Jean micarta or something like that, or something like that, like micarta made out of jean material. Or you can get the titaniums, and they got like 3 different types of titanium too, as far as like finishes. Like this is a dark stone wash, but they also have bee blasted, and then they have like regular stone wash, and so you got a little bit more variety with these, as far as like the materials that are used. But they don't use aluminum. So if you want to get aluminum ones, the only way you're going to get the aluminum ones is to go to Original Goat. I would highly recommend both. I like both of them. I haven't had any problems with mine. The fitment on them is all perfect, and I love them both. I love RGT or Original Goat. I do have one from Carbonized. This is my one from Carbonized. This one has the skiff bearings in it also. And the one from Carbonized, let's see how much this one weighs. And this one's available at Blade HQ. .6 ounces, weighs the same as a stock folder. Let's zero this out again. The thickness of it, measuring the same spot, 10 millimeters, just like the Original Goat. 10 millimeters. Actually, a little bit under. Yeah, it's 10. A little bit under. And this one feels super light and thin, and it feels like the stock one with micarta scales on it. I think these were the linen micarta scales. And these scales were like, I want to say $65 or something like that, or $70. But the bad thing that I didn't really care for about the Carbonized was that when you get the Carbonized scale, they don't give you a backspacer. This is Original Goat backspacer. So it's the aluminum backspacer, and I polished it. When you first get it, it's not polished. It's a dull aluminum finish. Pretty much like it is on the inside, because I didn't polish the inside. And this one right now is in my box, along with this one. This is my other one that has skiff bearings in it. It's a stock one. I put skiff bearings in. And it's probably about the one I carry the most, this one right here. It's got the stock scales on it. And when it's all blacked out like this, I like it. And I actually like this one too. That's the reason why I never changed this one. I never changed this one because this was the first AD20 I ever bought. This was the second AD20 I ever bought. This one has D2. And this one is supposed to be getting turned into Purple Rain. I haven't done it yet. So you can see I like AD20.5s, huh? A little bit AD20.5 nutty. I absolutely love these blades. Absolutely love them. And every one of mine is different from the other. These two, only two that look sort of alike, but they're very different. Physically, they're very different. This one feels heavy, and it feels like it's got it's a substantial folder. You know, it's over 5 ounces. It feels real heavy. It feels super sturdy, and I know that these scales are very thick and very strong and don't flex at all when the knife's all apart by themselves. These are some super strong scales. I would highly recommend them. Just like these. These are super strong scales too, and I would highly recommend these too. The titanium scales, to me, they add a whole lot of strength to the knife. I think they probably overall make the knife a lot stronger, probably maybe twice as strong. I don't know. Because now they just don't have this, now the knife's not just relying on stainless steel liners. You got thick titanium scales. I know they cost, you know, there's no cheap way to do this. You know, going the RGT route is the least expensive route that I've found in order to do this. You know, if you have to pay the full price. I didn't pay the full price on either one of these setups, but if you have to pay the full price, this is the least expensive way to do it by about $40, like $30 or $40, like $30, I guess. Because it's $190 for this and $160 for this, or $159. So that's a $30 difference. And also on this one, if you want to put a pocket clip on it, you need to find longer screws, because these screws aren't long enough for the pocket clip. They only get like it feels like you get like maybe 2 or 3 thread bite on it. And I didn't like the way that felt, so that's one reason why you don't see the pocket clip on it. And I didn't want to put, what do you call it, the stock pocket clips on it either. But these pocket clips work just fine with the original goats, because the original goats have that 10 millimeter thickness, and I think that's the right size. That's about as thick as you want to go if you want to use the stock screws for pocket clips. Whereas these have like a 12 millimeter thickness, and it makes it so the screws don't fit right. You can still put the pocket clip on there, don't get me wrong, but it's not on there very, very well. It might pop out, and I can picture it popping out and stripping their the part that the screw screws into, or the screw itself would get messed up. So I elected not to do that. And besides, I like to carry knives in my coat pockets too. And when the ones I carry in my coat pockets, I don't like to have pocket clips on them. I've always done that. I don't know if you guys have been following me or not, but I have a lot of old cold steels that are set up for pocket carry without pocket clips on them. That's the way I always like to carry. I always like to carry something in my jacket pocket and something in my front pocket. Because I'm a 2-knife person. I tend to like to carry 2 knives. I like to carry like a knife like this that I can use for utility. I could go to the post office box, for instance, and pull it out of my pocket and open up my mail at the post office and not freak out people. And then I carry my self-defense folder in my right front pocket. And that's usually a bigger knife. You know, 4 inches or above. But this would be like my utility folder. And I would call it a backup folder too. And you know, this could be a self-defense folder too. This has a super strong lock on it. The shark lock, to me, is like a, you know, I don't know if it's not as strong as a Triad, but it is an Demko lock, so I got a lot of faith in it, even though I haven't seen it tested. I've seen the Atlas lock tested, and that's pretty freaking amazing, if you ask me. I saw, what was it, the 3.5 inch Engage / Drifter, or Drifter and / Engage, and the Stickman tested that. Did a weight hang on it, held like 726 pounds or something that it did, or something like that, for a little 3.5 inch knife. That is amazing. That is amazing. That you know, Stickman was saying that it was the strongest lock, and you know, and it sort of was getting on my nerves. He kept saying that without showing any testing. And then he did the testing. Hey, shut me up. that Atlas lock is pretty badass. But I don't know, their prices are kind of whack, and the only affordable Atlas lock knives have that 4116 corrupt stainless steel, which is okay. But to me, that's extreme budget steel. That's like for $20 and $30 knives, not for knives that cost like $100 or around $100 or even $50. $50 knife, you know, I expect to get like at least D2 or Oz 10 or something. You know, talking about cold steel steels, the steels that they use. But and I don't know. I've heard people say that, you know, that because you know, people like me feel that way, that we're steel snobs. I don't think I'm a steel snob. I just expect to get a lot of value for my money. Does that make me a steel snob? Because I have lots of knives with 4116, but those are my knives I spent $20 on. I don't mind 4116 if a knife is costing $20, $30. You know, for example, I gotta pull one out now. This is one of my self-defense house knives that I always leave out, just in case I might want to need it or carry it. This is a cold steel knife. It has a custom sheath, you know, because I didn't like the stock sheath that it came with, so I purchased a custom Kydex sheath. And this is the Tonto Light. It's made with 4116 German Krupp stainless steel. It costs $23. That's when I like 4116. It's when you put in a very inexpensive knife, a knife that if I used and had to get rid of and it had to be disposable or whatever, it wouldn't break the bank. Or if it gets confiscated or something. That's the reason why I like these kind of knives, because if I'm going somewhere where a knife might get confiscated or something like that, I'll take an inexpensive knife. I'm not going to take one of my expensive knives in a situation like that. That's, you know, why would I do that? Use because there's lots of great self-defense knives that aren't expensive, and this is one of them. This is one of them, and that's the purpose of 4116 to me. So don't call me a steel snob. I'm not a steel snob. I just expect a lot of value for my money. I expect I work hard for my money. I'm not a rich person. I'm a working class person, middle class person. And, you know, I work 6-7 days a week, work overtimes all the time. I work hard for my money. And so I expect to get a lot for my money. You know, I like companies that give me a lot for my money. Give me a lot of value for my dollar. And that's one reason why I always like cold steel. Other than that, they made the best locks and they made the best self-defense folders, in my opinion, because, you know, Len C. Thompson was all about self-defense. He was all about always being armed. You know, he had the same pattern of thinking like I think I sort of have. I'm always armed. I don't like going any place without any kind of secondary backup for anything. I always like to be prepared for everything, because I believe that it's important to always hope for the best, but always be prepared for the worst. But this is a $23 knife, and then, you know, I spent, I don't know, can't remember how much the sheath was, like 20 or 30 bucks for the sheath. So it's like under $50 for this whole rig. And that's cool. You know, to me, this is worth under $50 or whatever. It's worth a little bit more, actually, because this is a knife that can save your life. Beautiful knife. And this one's like the light version of the Master Tonto. And I love the Master Tonto. But I just had to put that out there. You know, don't call me a steel snob, because I feel like, you know, certain knives should have better steels for the amount of money that you're paying for them. And the reason why I say that is because I see millions of other knives that I purchase and buy that have, you know, like titanium or M390 or I don't know, whatever, for like $150 to $200. And that is sort of the problem I had with these when these first came out too, because they were giving you Oz 8 and, you know, and Grivery or glass-filled nylon or whatever for $149. I thought that was too much, but then after I got one, I realized how much I liked the knife itself. And so that's when I decided that, you know, I could. The steel didn't really bug me, but I'm not a person that really cares for grivery or plastic handles. I really don't care for I like at least G10 or micarta or something like that, or you know, some sort of metal like aluminum or titanium. But I'm not really a person that really likes this kind of, you know, plastic feeling handles or whatever. But this one, I actually like it. I like it, this one, just the way it is. Because I like blacked out knives. And this knife is so awesome, you know. There's no other knife like this. And I know the Atlas lock is going to be pretty neat too, but I bet you it's not going to be a big fidgeter. And the reason why I say that is because it's got a mid-lock setup. A mid-lock setup, I can't picture that being as fun to fidget with. These are master fidgeters. And so I like these. I think I'm always going to like the Shark lock over the Atlas lock. Even if the Atlas lock is stronger, these are strong enough. But I do want to get an Atlas lock knife, you know, but I got to get one for a good price. But that's my view on these. How many do I got now? I don't even know how many I got. I got 6, 9. I got 11 of them. 11. That's a good number. 11's a good number. That was my mother's favorite lucky number. So I'm gonna leave it at 11. I love them. But you know, I got tie lights like this too. Tie light 6s. I don't even know how many tie light 6s I have. I don't even know how many holdouts I have. I don't know how many Tal Wars I have. I don't know how many Espadas I have. You know, I don't know how many Recons. I got a lot of Recons. Oh, Voyagers? Voyagers are off the chart in my collection. I got Voyagers from the very beginning of Voyagers all the way to the present Voyagers. All the different, you know, the 2 different lock types and all that kind of stuff. And I love Voyager knives. I've been carrying those a long time. And I always wish that they would have made those with G10 handle scales. G10 is probably my favorite handle scale material. Why? Because it's super strong and tough. It's durable. It doesn't show wear. It's just, I don't know. It's really cool. Whereas like one thing I dislike about like the metal handles is that these will eventually get scratched and worn and lose a lot of their looks and appeal. But you know, if they wear out naturally and stuff like that without damage, like from dropping them or something, then you know that's kind of cool. But if they get dropped or scratched, you know, if you drop one of these on a hard surface, it's going to scratch it all up and it's going to mess it up, if you ask me. Whereas if you dropped I don't know how durable micarta is because I've never really dropped anything that's micarta or anything like that. But I know I have dropped a lot of G10 knives and they don't get damaged. You know, you get a very little tiny bit of damage and then you just like sand it out a little bit and it's like gone and it's like, G10 rocks. And it's super strong. It's got G10, the tensile strength, the G10 I think Andrew Demko was talking about because his favorite handle material is G10 also. And the reason why is because he says it has a higher tensile strength than like a GFN, you know, glass-filled nylon or Grivery or micarta. And it's like 30 times stronger. I mean, it's like a major amount stronger. It's like almost has the same tensile strength as steel. That's the reason why they can make knives without liners with G10. Some of the strongest cold steel knives are the ones without like the Tal War and the holdout and the Recons and the AK-47s, the American Lawman. None of those knives have liners. They're all straight G10 handles, and they're all super strong. Stronger than any, you know, like you could take one of those knives and put them up in against any liner lock or any plunge lock or any compression lock or frame lock, and they'll beat them in a weight hang test. They'll beat them in a spine whack test. I've seen it done over and over again. You know, I've watched all the Andrew Demko videos on strength tests, on testing and stuff like that. And so I know how strong American G10 is that Cole still used to use, or still does use. And so I just like, and I just like G10. I wish they would have made this with G10. I don't know, maybe they will in the future. I don't know. But anyway, I absolutely love this one. And the other cool thing about this one is that you can use a shark's foot blade with a titanium backspacer that's not milled out. I mean, it's not V-grooved or ball grooved, because their backspacers clear the blade. This blade doesn't run into the backspacer. It's not too far away from it though, but it doesn't hit it. It doesn't hit it like it does on the original goat ones that aren't milled or whatever. So this one works really great with the shark's foot too, without modification. Great knives. I'm going to cut it off there, people. Remember, always hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. Peace. Stiletto.